The most frustrating part of exercising is to not see any results from all of your hard work. The reason for that could be some pretty big workout mistakes that are sabotaging your success. Here are 3 of the most common workout mistakes you probably make and what you can do to fix them. The first one is being inconsistent. People often hop from one workout to another and want to try every routine and every exercise out there. Of course, I can understand the temptation. It's more fun to change things, try different routines and get a lot of variety. But if you want the best results, you have to follow a proper routine and stick to it for a while. Consistency is always the best choice if you aim for the best results. How long you have to follow a specific routine depends on your experience and your goals. In general, we suggest to stick to a routine for about 4 to 6 weeks before you switch to another one. Of course, this doesn't mean that you can't change any details at all. It's still possible to increase the weight, to change the progression of an exercise, or even to change the complete exercise a little bit, as long as they train the same muscles or benefit the same goal. Here's an example. You want to train your chest and the routine includes push-ups. Now, if your body is already used to do regular push-ups and you finished other routines which included them, you can change the basic variation in different ways without hopping to a complete different exercise. Instead of normal push-ups, you could try one of the following. First, ring push-ups. The movement is still the same, but the rings can move in different directions. So you add an adduction and rotation and with that target your chest optimally. Second, band-resisted push-ups. Here you simply create additional and progressive resistance through the band. Third, backpack push-ups. Like with the banded push-ups, you create additional resistance, but this time steadily over the complete range of motion. Fourth, deep push-ups. Here you increase the range of motion and with that make it harder. Fifth, side-to-side push-ups. Here you adjust the standard push-up by shifting your weight more to one side. This makes the exercise harder because as a result of the longer lever, the extended arm can't create the same strength. What you shouldn't do is to change the push-up to a Sphinx or a pike push-up. The Sphinx push-up is a totally triceps dominant movement, while the pike push-up is a more shoulder dominant exercise. In both cases, you wouldn't hit your chest in the same way as in the examples explained before. For beginners, we still suggest to change nearly nothing and stick to your current routine. If you have no or only little experience, you have to learn the proper technique first. This is really important, because without the right technique, you will reduce your gains or damage your joints, ligaments and tendons in the long term. Beginners also don't need that much variation. Your body already has enough to do to adapt to the exercises of the routine because it's simply not used to this kind of training. The second mistake is not sticking to proper rest times. We know that it can be boring to rest 3 to 4 minutes between each set and that most people like to do short and intense workout sessions. The problem with that is that not all goals are compatible with this kind of training. If you just want to get basically fit or do something for your body in general, it's okay to train like that. But if you have specific goals like learning a certain skill, building muscle mass or increasing your strength to the max, you have to stick to the proper rest times for this kind of goal. If you work with hard exercises in the lower rep range, longer rest times are a must. With the correct rest time, you are able to stick to the right rep range and also very important, you maintain your concentration much better to execute the hard exercises with proper form. If you choose a too short rest period, you're not going to be able to perform as many reps as you would be able to do after a long rest. Of course, you can and should also implement phases in which you work with shorter rest times and easier exercises in the higher rep range. This gives your joints, tendons and ligaments a break from the harder exercises and also increases the capillarization of your muscles. A preparation or strength endurance phase are perfect examples of how you can implement this kind of training into your schedule. You can find the same approach in our workout programs on CaliMove.com. So if you are looking for a complete step-by-step workout guide, just take a look at our programs and choose the right one for you. The other extreme is resting too long. If you're resting too long, you create only little metabolic stress, and this is one factor for muscle growth. On the other hand, it's totally fine and even necessary to work with longer rest times if your main goal is max strength. That is usually required in sports in which you do very hard exercises or lift heavy weights. The last mistake is static stretching before working out. Mobility work improves your active range of motion and with that enhances your performance. Long and extreme isometric passive stretches, on the other hand, increase your passive range of motion because of less muscle tension. Less muscle tension means less strength output and less stability. Here's an example. Let's say you want to train your chest. If you now do long-lasting passive stretches for this muscle group right before the workout, you will lower the muscle tone significantly. This can decrease your performance when it comes to bench pressing or any other exercise for this muscle group. Stretching can also increase the risk of injury because you can't properly stabilize the passive range of motion you have reached during the stretch. So don't do long-lasting passive stretches for the same muscles you are about to train for strength. This also means that it's possible to stretch other muscles if you need the flexibility to perform better. A pike walk is a good example. The main strength in this movement comes from your shoulders and abs. But passive stretches in your hamstrings help you to move your legs closer to your upper body. You should also consider the difference between a short and a long-lasting passive stretch. Again, we take the pike walk as an example. You can do a downward dog to increase your range of motion for the end position of the pike walk. But we don't recommend a long-lasting weighted stretch in which you heavily increase the range of motion. This lowers the muscle tension too much and with that the necessary shoulder stability you need in this position. When it comes to passive stretching after the workout, you should know that there is no evidence for a positive effect on muscle recovery. So only include it if you have specific flexibility goals you want to achieve. Instead of long-lasting passive stretches, we recommend mobility training or a mix between mobility and short passive stretches as your cool-down activity. Easy mobility exercises are great as a cool-down because they help your muscles to relax and keep the blood circulation up. Alright, now you know 3 of the most problematic workout mistakes and how you can fix them. If you are looking for a complete workout guide that implements all those fixes, you should head over to CaliMove.com. Every program focuses on the proper rest times for your specific goals and comes with different phases. You change the schedule every 4 to 6 weeks to get the best results and still have plenty of variety. Our mobility program also avoids the last mistake and is much more enjoyable than long-lasting passive stretches. You get different mobility flows, locomotions, and also single exercises. If you have any further questions, just leave a comment. My name is Alex and I'll see you in the next video.